What if the future of Ontario's jobs comes down to a single trade deal and a tug-of-war between Washington and Beijing, while Toronto digs out from a snowstorm and the Leafs lose an overtime heartbreaker? Ottawa weather check. A high near -1 degree Celsius, a low around -11, and snow. Big picture on trade and why it matters here at home. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer is urging an extension of the USMCA, CUSMA on our side, warning that walking away would hand a major advantage to China, which is racing to vertically integrate everything from raw materials to the cars rolling off the line. That push comes as former U.S. President Donald Trump has dismissed the deal as irrelevant and previously slapped 25% tariffs on autos from Canada and Mexico. Over in Mexico, Economy Minister Marcelo Ebrard says the agreement is firm, and he's confident all three countries will close an extension by the July 1st review date, though analysts say talks could stretch into 2026. For Ottawa and Ontario, the stakes are direct. Auto parts, logistics, and advanced manufacturing depend on predictable cross-border rules. If the framework wobbles, costs and uncertainty ripple through the supply chain, from the 401 corridor to suppliers and service firms in the capital region. At the same time, Canada and China just signed a series of non-binding agreements to boost trade and investment, including lumber and energy cooperation. British Columbia's Forest Ministry inked an MOU on modern wood construction to help expand our lumber market beyond the U.S., including integrating wood into China's urban renewal and rural revitalization plans. None of this resolves the tariff fight. Canada has tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles, aluminum, and steel. China hit back with duties on canola, seafood, and other agricultural products. There's talk and movement, but no concrete outcome yet. That's the backdrop for Prime Minister Mark Carney's high-stakes trips to India and China. The goal: reset strained ties and diversify Canada's trade. Carney's early talks in China yielded an agreement on energy cooperation and a preliminary deal to allow Chinese EVs into Canada in exchange for lower canola duties. Still not a final fix to the broader tariff picture. He and President Xi Jinping agreed to work toward reducing trade irritants as part of a new strategic partnership. Not everyone at home is on board. Ontario Premier Doug Ford opposes easing tariffs on Chinese EVs over fears for local and American jobs. For Ottawa's exporters and tech firms, the signal is mixed. Possible new access on one hand, ongoing friction on the other. Zooming into Ontario's on-the-ground effects of tariffs, the LCBO has pulled American alcohol from shelves in response to U.S. measures. More than $80 million worth of American liquor is stuck in storage as the province waits for tariffs to lift, with Queen's Park pledging support for local producers in the meantime. In the forestry sector, another hit. Domtar's Ignace sawmill in northwestern Ontario is shutting down indefinitely, citing weak North American lumber demand, economic uncertainty, and the drag of U.S. tariffs. In small communities, that's not just direct jobs. It's the ripple through trucking, maintenance, and local services. It's a reminder that trade policy isn't abstract. It's paychecks and town main streets. On the Ottawa legal beat, 3 bid cases could shake politics and public policy. First, the Supreme Court of Canada is reviewing a 2021 decision that cleared former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau of ethics violations in the WE charity affair, which involved a $43 million contract and personal ties to the organization. Democracy Watch argues there should be a right to appeal the Ethics Commissioner's findings. Otherwise, it says, the ruling party's oversight could go unchecked. Second, the Federal Court of Appeal is weighing the legality of the Liberal government's use of the Emergencies Act to clear convoy protests. A lower court had ruled the invocation unreasonable, saying the facts didn't justify that step despite federal claims of security threats. The appeal will refine how governments can respond to future crises. Third, the City of Ottawa's challenge over payments in lieu of property taxes on federal buildings has been dismissed by the Federal Court of Appeal. The city argued the federal government unfairly reduced its payments during COVID-19, creating a $22 million shortfall. The court found the reduced rate was reasonable. For City Hall, that's a confirmed gap to manage in already tight budgets. Over to Toronto, where the city just turned a blizzard into a bonus long weekend. After 35 centimeters of snow and an orange weather warning, schools closed, and with a PD day already scheduled, most students scored a 4-day winter break. Wind chills hit -22, but that didn't stop families from crowding parks to build snow statues and break out the sleds. If you're heading down, there's still a slate of indoor-friendly fun. Canada's bridal show, roller skating at Union Station, and yes, a Toronto Raptors game on the weekend docket. Bundle up and leave extra time. The snowbanks are real. Sports time. A wild one in Vegas. The Golden Knights rallied to beat the Maple Leafs 6-5 in overtime. Jack Eichel buried the winner at 2:44 of OT. Tomas Hertl forced extra time with a goal 7 seconds before the buzzer, assisted by Eichel. Former Leaf Mitch Marner, facing Toronto for the first time since the trade, notched 2 assists. Goalie Adin Hill returned from a lower body injury and made 23 saves. Pavel Dorofeyev scored twice on the power play and had a potential hat trick waved off for offside. Mark Stone extended his point streak to 10 games with a goal and 2 helpers. For the Leafs, William Nylander and John Tavares each had a goal and an assist. Austin Matthews, Morgan Riley, and Scott Laughton also scored. Vegas has now won 6 straight. Elsewhere in the NHL, Buffalo's Tage Thompson put on a show, a hat trick plus 2 assists in a 5-3 win over Montreal. That included his 200th career goal and his 9th career hat trick. The Sabres are scorching, 15-2 in their last 17, and have their best win total and points at this stage since 2009-10. The Canadians got goals from Cole Caulfield, Nick Suzuki, and Ivan Demidov. Buffalo has now won 10 of its last 12 at home and snapped a 6-game home skid against Montreal. Travel note: as winter vacation season heats up, Canadian travelers are rethinking parts of the Caribbean following recent U.S. policy. Military action in Venezuela and the ripple of regional tension. Agencies report softer demand for Aruba and Curaçao, with some Canadians pivoting toward Mexico, Jamaica, and the Dominican Republic. Cuba is also seeing a drop in interest amid threats from President Trump and ongoing blackouts and shortages. In travel forums, the chatter is all about safety, stability, and ease of getting around. Before we go, one thread ties several of today's stories together: the transition pressures in energy, transportation, and building. Whether it's EV trade friction, lumber's push into modern wood construction, or the way a snowstorm reshapes a city for a weekend, climate and supply chains are increasingly the backdrop for local decisions. As Ottawa businesses and families plan the year, budgets, trips, even Saturday's errands, those macro shifts are the quiet soundtrack. That's it for today. Ottawa weather one more time: a high near -1°C, a low around -11, and snow. If you're hitting the canal later this season, fingers crossed for sustained cold. Thanks for listening. We'll be back with the latest on the trade talks, the court rulings, and how they land here at home.